Ezra Prime Access ends February 23rd, and Octavia Prime will be arriving. It literally, when this Prime Access leaves, Octavia Prime will be entering the new Prime Access. And this is how I've been working for a lot of Prime Access Warframes, new Warframes that have been coming in the game. So like they literally just have the end date of Prime Access the day a new Prime Access comes in. So old out with the old and with the new. That's how it literally been working. But the Prime Access and the Prime accessories are only going to be leaving, and everything, the Zacti Prime, the Guandeo Prime, the relics, and Nezha Prime, all those, the relics will still be accessible in the game, so do not worry, they will not be leaving the game. But I do want to give my thoughts on Nezha Prime, the Firewalker. I think he was definitely amazing Warframe. Um, the Zacti Prime, it was pretty trash. Yeah, garbage. pretty garbage. The Guandeo Prime, amazing, better than the original weapon itself. If we were compared to stats, very high stats compared to the original Guandeo, which the status was very terrible, and they increased the status by a lot. The critical chance was increased by like 4%, 5%, and it just turns out to do amazing red crits, and it's just overall an amazing weapon. And they always try to compare it to the Orthos Prime, which I think the Orthos Prime is kind of in front of Guandeo. It's not behind it. It's definitely has more potential than the Guandeo Prime, but the Guandeo Prime is a better version of the Guandeo. So I think overall, these two weapons are the best in the game for pole arms. Now the Zacti Prime, like I said, was a terrible weapon, and it just like, what were they thinking when they put this weapon as prime? Like like none of the stats were increased by a lot. The only thing that was the status, but the critical chance, none. It was literally increased by like 7%, because the original Zacti was 2%, so 8%. It's still garbage either way. What do you look at it? The critical multipliers was increased, just 3. Just basically added 3 more numbers in there, and then they just call it a day for that. But it's pretty decent. Yeah, and the status was the only thing that was increased by a lot. But overall, this weapon was just trash. Trash. You just need a really good ribbon for this weapon. But yeah, the expectations for this weapon was beyond what everybody thought it was going to be. And yes, it's a prime weapon. It should be better, but that's not how they put this weapon together. They made it nothing. Really, just nothing. But I do have what I want to say, a prime fashion frame for this, for Nezha Prime. So make sure you guys go check that out on my other channel. Link in the description to that. My thoughts on the accessories was amazing. I mean, the prime parts were pretty. They weren't good to me. I know some jokes that have been said when I did the Prime Access review, accessories review, and it's just somebody said these things look like yo-yos and all that. And of course it goes well on Nezha Prime, because this was definitely made. They always create prime accessories like the armor to match the energy of the prime skin, the prime warframe. They always try to do that. And then we have the best looking ephemera in the game, and the Borahan. I still don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm just gonna call it Nezha Prime Ephemera. And this one was literally like, everybody would purchase this for just the ephemera. And yeah, it's literally like one of the best ephemeras in the game. It's the biggest like these dragons here. It's amazing. It's really cool. One of the coolest ephemeras of the game, and I think that's what everybody's goal was, to buy this because of this ephemera. Besides the Ransha Prime armor pieces, I think the goal was just the ephemera. But yeah, that's really my thoughts. Besides Nezha Prime, I did want to drop a build for him, but I just I feel like it would have been like a repeat when, you know, like other people make Nezha Prime builds, and I've seen some of them, and it would just be literally a repeat to that, and everybody would say, hey, somebody else made a build on this, you know. But you know, I just overall, Nezha Prime is a cool Warframe, and he's amazing, better than his original version. So yeah. But you still have time to actually pick up the Prime Access and accessories, so make sure you do that if you do want that. It ends February 23rd, out with the old, in with the new Octavia Prime, so do not forget. So if we come to the Nezha Prime Access ending page, if you go to, you know, Warframe on Google, type in Nezha Prime Access, it pops up here, ending, of course, the access ending February 23rd. We scroll down, wow, that scroll down really fast, and we see Prime items entering the Prime Vault is Equinox Prime, Stradavar Prime, and the Torpedo Prime. These are entering the Prime Vault. They are probably leaving the day the Prime Access comes, and then Nezha Prime Access leaves, which is February 23rd, which this, I think it says it down, no, does not say it there. It just only says about Nezha Prime. So it will be leaving the same day as the Nezha Prime Access is leaving, and the new Access is coming in, Octavia Prime. It's funny because they don't even have a forums page for Octavia, which is really funny to me, how they don't even have a forums page up. They just only say release date for Octavia Prime, but it just doesn't have a forums, its own forums page for Octavia. So that's just one thing that doesn't make sense to me, but it's whatever. We'll get one near, probably when the Prime Access comes near. It's almost near of dropping, so if you guys do understand what I'm saying, but it'll come soon. Next thing I want to talk about is the Valentine's Day event. Now, Rebecca said on a PC live stream for the community stream, Twitch drop live stream, which you guys can get a free starter. Make sure you go watch my video on that. But there will be a free starter dropping this week. You guys can watch the live stream on Twitch for 30 consecutive minutes, and you will receive the parts for it and the blueprint, which will be coming Thursday. So that will be tomorrow is Wednesday. I think the stalker receiver is coming, and then the blueprint will be dropping Thursday. So make sure you go watch that for 30 consecutive minutes if you want to receive your blueprint for that, and you'll get a free starter. Anyways, moving on. Warframe Valentine's Day event, Nightwave intermission. Oh, sorry, skip that part. Just the Valentine's Day event. That's what we want to talk about. It's coming Thursday, okay? This Thursday. That's what Rebecca said in a PC live stream for the community drop, Twitch drop. All right. We already know what's coming in this event. They were showed that on Dev Stream 151. All right. We got the new Eos Wings Ephemera. All right, coming. We got some other stuff coming as well. I feel like they should put more in here, but this is from Ticker. That he's in the Fortuna. Ticker is, however, holding the ephemera. All right, and it's his own design ephemera. That's not what the actual ephemera looks like. It's different. But yeah, that's really what's coming in the game this Thursday. So that's pretty cool. Make sure you guys go play that event because it does look cool. I don't know why this thing keeps doing that, but that's really all I want to talk about. All right, so make sure you build up your debt bonds for this event because you're going to need your debt bonds. Build it up. You know, get a lot of debt bonds because I think that's how you really get these rewards. Purchase these rewards from Ticker. So you're gonna need those debt bonds for this event. So do not forget that. All right, it's easy to get these debt bonds. Just make sure you have a lot of debt bonds for this event. This is Equinox, the primed Equinox. I think her skin looks really nice, well designed, better looking than the original version, which is right here. Yeah, I think way better. I like the colorant to it, but I think it's way better still. Um, the Stradavar Prime. This weapon was I don't know. I can't really give my thoughts on the Stradavar like that because I barely play with it, but it does have a second. It does have some auto. What I want to say, a cycle to it, to the weapon, primary, secondary, and it kind of has a semi and an auto, right? The second, okay, so it only has two cycles to it, and I think those two cycles are actually good. I mean, I don't really care, but it was still good. You know, the stats are actually pretty nice. 24% critical chance. The critical chance on the secondary was really good as well. So they didn't make the secondary fire mode trash. Alright, they didn't give it trash stats. They actually give it pretty high stats, especially the critical multiplier. So that was pretty good. That's actually really good to say. The Tipedo Prime, really not my type of weapon. I don't like the staff, the stance to it. I don't like the stances at all. I think the stances are pretty garbage. But what I do have to say is this weapon is actually not bad. It does do some red crits. Alright. So with that being said, let me know in the comments below if you guys do want a build for this weapon. Because I was thinking about dropping a build for this weapon, but I didn't. I do have some builds to this weapon, so leave some comments down below if you do want a build for this weapon. If it does interest you and you do play with this weapon, please let me know in the comments below if you do want a build for this weapon. But I have to say, the Stradavar is not terrible. Not like the Exactly Prime where they just gave it terrible stats for a Prime version, which I think that's just really terrible. Like, you guys should be doing better with these weapons. Of course, for a weapon that's a melee weapon, of course they will put more stats on it because melees are sharp, and you know, when we talk about like swords and all that, they probably will have high stats because the blades are sharp. You have to like basically like tell yourself in reality, knives, swords, they are all sharp, so they're gonna do slash damage and cut you in reality and all that. The melee weapons are gonna get better stats than guns, which I don't know why, because guns are dangerous. Like, you should be making these guns very high stats, you know, high status, you know. Come on, like, don't make these guns terrible where people actually love how the gun animation plays out and everything to it looks amazing, but you have terrible stats to the weapon. You know, some weapons do have potential. You know, I do see it. Like what I saw in Guandeo. I felt like it had potential. But you guys make it so awful. So, you know, I feel like that's something they need to work on with weapons, especially Prime weapons. Prime's supposed to be better than the original. So let's try to make those weapons better. But those are my thoughts on those weapons and the Prime Access and the um, Equinox and his weapons leaving. So yeah, I mean, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. You know, you guys can always hit me up. But that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.